Hello, my name is Helen Des, and in this video we will speak about how to stop seeing nightmares every night. This will help if you want to work with the deep reasons of what is happening to you. Thus, we will speak about this problem not only from the point of view of psychology, but also from the point of view of esoteric science.
Is it normal for children and adults to have nightmares during sleep? Some psychologists believe that it is perfectly normal for adults to have nightmares during sleep, and for children too, if it doesn't lead to insomnia. Personally, I do not agree with this at all. Yes, many of us have bad dreams all the time. But this is only because many of us live almost all our life in the state of suppressed fears, anxiety, energy exhaustion, or even under magical negative. I don't think this is a healthy state. Why do children have nightmares? Then why, you may ask, do children who are just beginning to live and do not yet have all the problems of adults also have nightmares? First of all, I will answer you. Children also have stress. Even Freud noticed that in infancy, certain psychological complexes are formed, which then act through a person's life. And secondly, children have a very strong mental and energy connection with their parents, and they perfectly feel and reproduce their internal state, very often in an increased proportion. A nervous and overworked mother means a nervous and overwrought child, reaching the level of hyperactivity. Quarrels between parents are equal to the feeling of guilt and defenselessness of the child, reaching the strength of enuresis and other diseases. Suppressed or manifested internal aggression of the father is equal to outbreaks of destructive behavior in the child, reaching schizophrenia, and so on. Dear parents, the mental and physical health of your children depend on your own mental and spiritual state. Please bring yourself back to normal. Before we move on to the causes of nightmares, I want to give an advice. If you see a bad omen, in addition to the method that I will give in this video, you can use the methods that I describe in the video, how to make a bad dream not come true. In it, I tell you how you can do this with water, prayers, and remaking the final of the dream. I will leave the link in the description of this video. How to stop bad dreams and nightmares every night from the point of view of psychology. Let's see what causes of nightmares psychologists find and how they advise to cope with them. Traumatic situation and stress. You may have been assaulted or stolen at some time, or you may have been involved in a street fight or a war, or you may have been a victim of domestic violence or a natural disaster. And after that, your subconscious mind constantly replays the plot of this situation in your dreams. This means that you didn't go out of this traumatic situation and didn't get rid out of the emotions that are associated with it. Or you just need to accept what happened and finally let it go. You should understand that many people have gone through such situations, and still the world hasn't finished its existence. Fortunately, you are alive and now you can experience more positive events. So, your problem is purely psychological. Try to live in joy. Stress. It can also be the cause of nightmares. This may be related to your work, personal life, family, etc. It's the same thing here. Stop freaking out and calm down. You can't help things with your fears, but you can only harm them. Again, if you cannot cope on your own, then you need to contact a psychologist. Another type of stress is watching horror movies, thrillers, action movies at night, reading about murders, diseases, and so on. Sensitive people, especially women, can suffer even from watching the news before going to bed. It is highly desirable to stop doing such things in 2 or 3 hours before sleep. Suppressed emotions. Internal and interpersonal conflicts. Childhood complexes, fear, uncertainty, repressed resentment, aggression, guilt, etc. can trigger a series of dreams. They may not always be nightmares, but they are always unpleasant. I will discuss this issue in more detail in the video How to Understand Dreams. Follow the link in the description box down below. The subconscious mind seems to give us a signal so that we realize our problem and start working on it. Here again, you need to either deal with you yourself or go to a psychologist. Here are some typical dream stories on these topics. Having an exam is an obsessive feeling that you owe someone something. Being naked in public is a fear of judgment. Someone is attacking you, a sense of danger coming from that person. You attack someone, you have increased inner aggression. In general, the dominant feeling in a dream reflects the real state of your psyche. When interpreting dreams, this indicator is the most important. How to avoid bad dreams and nightmares every night from the point of view of medicine. Wrong food. Sometimes nightmares can be caused by overeating and consuming unhealthy food during the day, and especially before going to bed. There is a well-known recommendation of doctors not to eat for several hours before we go to bed. And in general, don't you think it's better to give up junk food altogether? Improper sleep. Proper sleep means that you sleep in a comfortable position on a comfortable mattress in a well-ventilated area where there are no unpleasant odors and noises. It is also good to light a candle before going to bed. Fire purifies the aura of a person, banishing bad dreams. Also, proper sleep is not when you sleep a lot, but when you do it in time. Psychologically, a person, like all living things on the planet, should fall asleep at sunset, in the evening hours. Then the production of hormones is properly regulated and a person can really get enough sleep. Before the advent of electricity, many of our ancestors slept in this way, and as a result they got a so-called two-step sleep. I'll tell you a little more about this method. Two-step sleep. So, if you go to bed at sunset, around 8, 9, 10 p.m., then most likely you will wake up in the morning about 3 or 4 hours a.m. This is natural, and previous generations used this time for their own good. This period before dawn is still considered the most favorable for prayers, spiritual work, which is common in many religious traditions. For example, in Hinduism, the hour of Brahma is known, during which the main meditations are held. In Christianity, too, it was customary to pray at night. If you don't want to go in for spiritual practices, you can devote this time to psychological work on yourself, reading, or any other hobby of yours. And also this time is favorable for sex. After a period of wakefulness in the morning, you can go back to sleep. This way you will get a good night's sleep and be fresh and stronger. Otherwise, going to bed late at night, people weaken their hormones and sleep much more hours, still not getting enough sleep. The result can be bad dreams. Interestingly, insomnia often turns out to be not a functional disorder, but a signal for the body to switch to such a sleeping schedule. If you can't sleep at night, try going to bed early and staying away at night, falling asleep in the morning. It is possible that you will forget about your insomnia and nightmares. Well, the physiological reasons are of course important, but sometimes those who break the rules of healthy sleep still do not have nightmares, and those who stick to them may suffer from bad dreams. Therefore, let's look at even deeper reasons for what is happening to you, esoteric ones at this time. How to stop bad dreams and nightmares in a dream from the point of view of esotericism. Foretelling. Since ancient times, all peoples have a belief that some dreams can come true. I also believe that sometimes they can directly indicate some favorable or unfavorable events in the future that may happen to us or our loved ones. What should you do if you saw it once, or constantly see a possible negative event in your life, or in the life of a loved one? This can and should be worked over. So first you need to accept the fact that these are not demons trying to intimidate you in this way, but that your subconscious sends this valuable information in order for you to take an action. This means that you have a chance to change the foreseen event. Think about what actions you can take on the material plane to avoid trouble. Also, think about what your psychological and spiritual problems may cause this unpleasant event. I'll talk about this in detail in my video How to Understand Dreams. The link will be down below. If you manage to switch and change the destructive patterns of emotions and behavior to positive ones, then the negative event may not happen. I will give an example. Sometimes some of the passengers of the planes that subsequently crashed do not come onto the board. Thus, they could see in a dream that their plane was going to explode, burn or crash. Or another example. A person sees in a dream that they have a terrible disease, but on the physical plane they are still perfectly healthy. So, their subconscious signals that the subtle psychological causes of the development of this disease have turned on. So they would better analyze themselves from the point of view of psychosomatics. And they will definitely find the reasons why such a disease can happen and eliminate its seeds during it. Magic negative. The next common cause of nightmares that isn't talked about much is negative black magic made on you. In this case, you can see how someone is hurting you, hindering you. And this is repeated from one night to the next. Such obsessive dreams with the same person. You can see a lot of negative symbols, graves, dead people, snakes, dirty water, etc. I described this in more detail again in the video How to Understand Dreams. Follow the link. However, not all nightmares can be connected to negative magic. A magician, a witch, or a specialist in such a field can determine this for sure. And of course, there is only one treatment here: to remove the negative program with the help of magic cleaning. Also, my video 12 Signs of Black Magic on a Person will help you to understand whether you may suspect being cursed. The link will be under this video. Dream catchers. If your nightmares are caused by dark forces, then you can also be helped by so-called dream catchers. These are talismans that are hung at the head of the bed in order to prevent bad energies from entering your mind. You can make such a catcher yourself or buy it in an esoteric store. Bad karma. Almost all religions unanimously declare that certain feelings and actions of a person can harm them. In some cases this is called sin. Some traditions explain that this is so-called karma. Karma is the law by which we receive retribution or reward for all our thoughts, feelings and actions. For positive, negative and neutral ones, we respectively get positive, negative or neutral from our point of view karma. Often karmic consequences are realized first in dreams and then in our physical world. And if we are satisfied with experiencing positive or neutral karma, then we can suffer a lot from the so-called negative karma. And this translates first and foremost in nightmares. But there is a good news. Karma is not something completely predetermined from above. You can work with it and modify it somehow. Spiritual practices, self-improvement, purification from sins and prayers are very useful in this case. Of course, karma is a very complex process, and in this short video I am unlikely to be able to fully reveal all the nuances of working on its correction. One can publish voluminous works about this. By the way, if you are interested, I can recommend you to study the experience of the famous esoteric Lazarus S.N. and his series of books, Diagnostics of Karma. But still, I will try to outline what sins or karmic reasons we can work with. How to work with bad karma in order to avoid bad dreams during sleep. I personally have the equal respect to all religions, but I need to take one as an example. And I will tell you about the Tibetan Bon tradition. I think that if you compare it with your own religion, you will find a lot in common. So, it is believed that there are 6 main systems in the universe, loks, which are inhabited by 6 classes of living beings. These are the world of hell, hungry spirits, animals, people, asuras, demigods, and gods. Each of these worlds has some of the root emotions that have a negative impact on karma. Interestingly, as humans we also experience a range of emotions that are common to all 6 worlds. However, more often 1 or 2 directions prevail, and accordingly we create unfavorable karma, which will then cause us to suffer in this world and be born after death in one of these 6 worlds. But there is a good news. For every negative emotion, there is an antidote. So, compare your dreams with the description of the worlds and understand which negative emotions you most often experience in your nightmares, which of the worlds they most relate to, and try to develop the opposite qualities in yourself. So, you will neutralize your bad karma over time. The lowest level of the universe, the worlds of hell. In these dimensions, living beings suffer the most. Books and horror movies, thrillers, did not appear out of nowhere. These are, we can say, the memories of eyewitnesses of the infernal worlds, most likely inherited in their previous lives. The root emotion that binds demons to their hellish worlds is anger, malice. If you feel that you often experience them in your dreams, that in general your dreams are like the world of hell, so develop a pure, unconditional love for all living beings, including for you yourself. World of hungry spirits. The next layer of the universe is the world of hungry spirits. Their whole life is full of suffering due to lack of food, water, or something that is necessary for life. For example, a hungry spirit may spend weeks searching for water and finally to find just a sip of moisture, which in no way can be enough for his body. Prets, hungry spirits, are depicted with a very thin neck and huge, immeasurable belly. The root emotion of this world is greed, if you feel its signs in your dreams or in reality. If the world of your dreams is like the lifeless landscape of the world of hungry spirits, develop generosity, the ability to give wholeheartedly what others need. The world of animals. We meet animals every day. The root emotion here is ignorance, confusion, and dullness of mind. The antidote is the knowledge that we gain by turning inward and understanding our true divine self. You can determine that you are in vibrations of the animal world in your dreams if you realize that you are seeing chaotic, boring, and meaningless dreams. World of people. The root negative emotion in our world is jealousy. We want to keep what we have with all our might, although it is clear that sooner or later everything comes to the end. And because of the fear of loss and the inability to hold on to something, we suffer even more. If in dreams or in reality you often experience such emotions, then you need to develop an open heart. This is achieved when we trust the will of the Supreme Turn to our nature. World of Asheras. Next is the world of Asheras. There are so-called semi-gods, technocratic civilizations. There are also many science fiction films about this world, about the distant future when technology will be very much developed and well-heartedness will be forgotten. In my opinion, this future is not so far away. We can say that humanity is on the threshold of entering it. You can determine that your consciousness corresponds to the world of Asuras if your dreams are similar to these fantastic worlds, or to computer games where you shoot someone, subdue, seize power in the universe. The main negative emotion here is pride, the desire to manage and subordinate others, to be a leader at all costs. The antidote to the pride of the Asura world is complete peace and humanity. World of gods. Creatures here have a harmony and balance of the senses. They live incredibly long, do not suffer from diseases and troubles. This is probably the best world of all. We can say that these are heavenly planets. However, the ideal of the Bond religion is not to achieve this world. After living in it for thousands of years, beings are still forced to leave it, burdened with bad karma. What kind of negative emotions does the world of the gods have? This is sweet distraction. The antidote to it is all-encompassing compassion for all living beings. I must say that to reach the level of consciousness of blissful dreams connected to the world of gods is, of course, a great achievement for us, people. But if you have achieved this, then this is not a reason to stop in your spiritual development. If we are speaking about dreams, improve your ability to manage lucid dreams, meditate in them, and transfer your spiritual practices into the world of dreams. Try to raise awareness to the world of slow sleep. This will be a powerful step in your comprehension of reality. To sum up, emotions are not harmful in themselves. You may experience them from time to time. They are harmful when we start clinging to them or running away from them. This will be confirmed not only by a minister of the Bond religion, but also by an ordinary psychologist. So write in the comments how you deal with your nightmares. Describe your dreams and I may be able to interpret the first some of them. If you have a wish but do not know how to get what you want, you can turn to the powerful forces of magic, and you may find my course on rune magic being helpful. Look for a link to it in the description of this video down below. There are also other links I have already spoken about. If it was useful for you, like, comment, share this video in social networks, subscribe to the channel and see you soon.